Okay, we've got a really blustery day in the garden, and it's quite overcast as well, but we'll see how we get on. Hopefully it won't get blown around too much. We're on for something quite bright here. I mean, this green is vivid, as you can probably see. It's the Eachine E31, and it comes in 3 different flavours. I've got the middle one, so basically I've got the one with an HD camera on it, and they do one with a Wi-Fi, and so you can have a Wi-Fi FPV on it, and I'd assume you could control it from an app on your phone as well, so you wouldn't need the transmitter, even though it does come with a nice little gaming transmitter. And then they do the very basic one, which doesn't have a camera or anything. Mine didn't actually come with a micro SD card, so just make sure you've got one of those. It's not going to need a big card. I think I only put a 4 gigabyte in there, but 2 gigs probably fine actually. The actual quad itself looks pretty nice, very lightweight, definitely a toy grade one, and little brushed motors in there and geared as they most of them are, and it's quite robust though. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The props are really flexible, as you can see. I mean, extremely flexible, so if on an impact, I don't think they're going to do any damage to anything, I would hope anyway. But if you're new to flying, I do suggest you pop on the prop guards. If you pop them on, you won't have an accident. If you don't pop them on, I virtually guarantee you will. You will crash, we all do. It's part of learning. These are really make the quad look huge once you put them all on. Now I'm not going to bother flying with them, but they do give really good protection, and even on the ceiling. So if you go up, you're not going to damage your ceiling with props spinning around either. So definitely recommend you put them on. Clip them in position, and then you get a little set of screws just to hold them in position as well. They're not going to move, I don't think anyway. You got little landing feet as well, legs, sorry, and you simply pop them into there, and again that's going to come out, and it's going to make it look quite smart, I think. I'm not going to bother with those because I'm not going to be landing anywhere where I've got long grass or anything, and it can come down here. It's got sort of short landing gear built in anyway, so quite happy with that. And again, you have to screw the little, make sure the landing gear gets screwed into position as well. I don't think it will tip over once it's got that on either, because does spread the legs quite a bit, which is rather good. You get a set of spare props and the little Phillips screws in there to unscrew. You get a little Phillips screwdriver as well to actually pop them out as well. So it's quite a nice little setup so far. Hopefully it flies okay. You get a little 400 milliamp hour, it's a single cell, and it's the lossy, I think they're called micro T connector, quite a normal connector. The battery bay area's got a nice load of room in there to connect it all up and then close it all back down. So that's rather good. Now the reason I've got 2 batteries here is it only comes with one, but these little 380 milliamp hours, so it's it's only 5% less I think than this in power, so honestly you're not going to notice any difference in your flight time. You can buy 5 of these and a charger that charges all 5 at once for about £10, and I'll put a link down in the description for you, because the worst thing is just waiting around for it to charge. So swap your batteries over and you can be up in the air again, and charging 5 at a time, do that overnight. I mean, it won't take long to charge, but basically next time you go out you've got 5 or 6 batteries with you. So that's the way I run it anyway. So when I'm out flying, I want to get as much flying time as possible. To charge, you get the one you get with it, the 400 milliamp hour, just simply plugs into there and into a USB, so that adapter, so that can go into your mains adapter. It can go on your computer or in your car, wherever you've got a USB that will charge it up. Onto the actual transmitter itself, and you do need 3 AA batteries for it, but it doesn't come with them, and my one is quite loose there, so I'm going to put a little screw in there which they give you just to hold it in, because it does keep popping open. If a battery comes out when it's in flight, it's just going to lose signal, so hopefully you won't get a flyaway. It might drop down, and I'll check that if it does, how that works. Comfortable in the hand, typical sort of gaming style one, and for thumbers or pinchers you can do either. These 2 here are trims for the yaw, and it's a mode 2 flight mode. So basically this is your throttle, so that pushes it up and that one pushes it down. This model actually has altitude hold, so it will sit roughly at a level. It will find its level and then sit there, so when you push it up and then let go, it will go to the point and then it will sit there, and same down. To turn it right and left, it's called yawing with quads. You do that, so that will go right and that will go left. And then we'll just swap hands. You've got your stick control here, your sort of control stick of direction, so forward pitch, backward pitch, roll right and roll left. And that's basically all there is to flying. That's all of us do. As complicated as we can make it look, that's all you have to do. It's not difficult. You've got your trims here for the yaw, and these four here are trims for the pitch and the roll. This button here does absolutely nothing, and this button takes it up into high rates, and this one takes it down in rates, so it goes up in rates, down in rates. And this model actually starts in intermediate rates, and it's got 3 rates. So it starts in intermediate, you press that one, it will go into low, press that one, it will go up into high, and it just goes up and down depending on what one you click. This, the middle button is for your camera on my one, because I've got the camera built on, the HD camera. So you press it once, you get a beep, and it will take a single image. Hold it down for 3 seconds and the video starts. Hold it down for 3 seconds again and the video will stop. This, if you press this one in, it goes into headless mode. So instead of that being front, so basically if you're pitching forward, that's forward. And if it turns around to the right, if I pitch forward, that is still the front of the aircraft, so it's still going to pitch that way. When you're in headless mode, so after you press this button here, the way that you've set it up, so if I set up here and I'm facing that way, no matter what angle that's at, if I press this one forward, forward is always away from me, so it's right, left and then back towards me, so that will always stay in the same orientation. It's not something I fly a lot. Some beginners start with it, but it's not something I really recommend. Learn how to fly with the head of the aircraft is much easier. This one here does your flips, and this one here is auto takeoff, auto land, and you've actually got hold it down for 3 seconds and it will kill the motors, whatever you're doing, so it'll literally drop out of the sky. When you do activate the flip, you get to choose which flip you want, so forward flip, backward, right and left. And then the only last one, and it's one I really don't usually get on particularly well with, is the return to home one. You press that and it will start coming back roughly in a direction that's it thinks is back to home, but it can virtually be in any direction. It's supposed to be rated up to 100 meters, and I don't think it would do that, and I don't see any need for it to do that, because 100 meters I'm not going to be able to see it. I haven't got a camera on it. If I had the FPV a Wi-Fi one, it wouldn't reach 100 meters, so I will test it 30-40 meters in my garden and see how we get on, and that will be fine and fair enough for me, and I think that's more what it's aimed at, to be honest. You do get a couple of sets of instructions, and it's in 4 different languages. The English and Chinese is together, and it's a bit confusing the way it's put together. It's quite difficult to read, but it's just the way they do it, so that's fine. It runs through all the things that I've just run through on the transmitter and the basic things of flying. The only thing I found a bit confusing, when you turn it over and turn it round, it's then all in German and another language, I think it might just be German actually, and if you want to find the other information in English, you have to go to this one, so you have to use both of them basically. So it's a bit of an unusual setup. It would get you started, but I think that's why they sent them out for reviews, so us guys can show you exactly how it works, whether it's something for you or not basically. It comes assembled like this, so it's not fully assembled, you can just clamp these bits on, but the nice thing is everything fits back in the box again for transporting it around. So if you're going out for the day, all you have to do is lob that in the back of your rucksack or whatever, and you don't need to sort of take the props off or anything else. I quite like that. I'm going to put all this stuff inside because I think it's just going to all blow off the table. Pop the battery in and let's go for that first flight. Okay, like I say, the wind's gusting around here, so it could go in any direction. I'm sure it'll cope with it because it's got 3 rates, so it should be pretty good. The thing I like about this, once you've plugged in your battery and got it all connected up, it has got an on-off switch, so which is really nice. I'm going to pop the quad on, and then you can see these LEDs are seriously bright. The only thing being is, once it's at that sort of angle, I can't really see them, but underneath you will see them for orientation, no problem at all. I think you can turn the transmitter on or the quad first of all. It doesn't make any difference, I don't think, but let's just give it a go. And then up and down, and then we've got flashing LEDs down to slow pulse, and then they've locked off, so that means that we're actually bound to it and ready to go. And like I say, it starts in intermediate rates, so auto takeoff, auto landing with that one, and off we go. So that's intermediate rates. Actually, I'll drop it down into low rates. There we are, so that's low rates. It's just sort of settling itself down on the altimeter. And this has got a, ooh, seems a little bit, in low rates it's sort of, ooh, it's quite sort of not mechanical, sort of robotic I would say. So I'm giving it a instruction and it's going taken a while to react, and then it instantly sort of stopped. So quite a different sort of flying experience, but it flies fine. But yes, it has got a sort of almost a delay, I would say, in it. It's sort of a little bit of stick input and then off it goes. Let's try it up in intermediate. Yeah, same again, I would say. Does fly nicely though, but it does seem a little bit sort of almost a little bit jerky with its movements. Oh, it's one of these ones that if you can turn it quick enough, you can actually get the props to stop. There we go. I don't know, I'm sure the camera won't pick it up. There, oh there we go, just about. Always find that a bit strange. It looks like it's going to drop out of the sky and it doesn't. So altitude hold, holding really nicely. Let's bring it down, just have a quick little run around it. Like I say, the wind is all sort of around the garden, so yeah, I've got gentle control with it, but it's sort of once you start to give it some pitch, it then really starts to get a little bit of a move on. I'm going to try it up in high rates. Well, hey, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. So it's never going to be aggressive. It is definitely aimed at people learning to fly, who want to learn to fly. And with the altitude hold, I've got the throttle right off now, and it's still coming down that slow, so it's never going to be fast at coming down, which some altitude holds do, some don't. So let's just do a kick out with it, which won't be much, I don't think. So just full power now. Yep. I won't take it up too high because of the wind, but it also takes so long to come back down, to be honest. Let's try those flips. So it gives a little bit of altitude. Oh, it comes back to the same altitude it started at. So that was a side one, forward, backwards, however you want really. Not really my sort of thing, the flipping, I must admit. Auto land, so just press the button and it will land, and you can still control where it's going to land. There we go. So I can still control it with the control stick. Press it again, off we go. And I don't know if I can cancel that if I press that. Yeah, so you can cancel it by just giving it some throttle as well, so you don't have to have it land if you suddenly realise you don't want it, that's not where you want it to land. Let's try this emergency stop. So I'm holding that down 3 seconds. Whoops, there we go. Like I say, it's sort of a pretty robust little thing. That was the altitude hold sort of struggling there. That's it, now it's sort of stabilised itself. That can happen on these ones, so I'm not overly fond on the altitude hold on the little ones, unless they get it right. Some of them they do get it right, sort of thing. Let's try it in headless mode. Oh, I haven't tried any video yet, have I? So pop the video on, that's better. I'll go and see how we get on with the video. So I know that's about 30 metres there. That's more than enough, I think. Gee, it's quite jerky in high rates. I'm going to bring it down into low rates. That's better for video, definitely. There's a good 30 metres there, no trouble. I'm not getting any sort of drop out at all. I'll go and take a still as well. I'll just move a little bit further back so we can get even further. I really don't think, I think this will do 50 metres, no problem at all. Oh, we've got flashing LEDs. So. There we go, quick couple of shots there, and then bring it back in. Let's just try this return to home, so just go press that, and it's sort of, don't really know where it's going. There we go, so like I say, it sort of can go anywhere. It was drifting off over there, as you saw. You thought that was home, that wasn't where we started. So I'll try that again. There we go, and it's just sort of going there. To cancel it, just give it some either pitch or roll will sort it out. Oh yeah, quite nice. That's down in low rates again, so it's still got quite a bit of go in low rates. Let's try it up in high rates and just see whether they got this yaw that they've had on other. There we go. So when you first start yawing, it does quite a normal sort of yaw, and then if you hold it on yaw, it will just spin like mad, which is quite good. One of the last ones they had, when you did that, it just went mad all the time. But this one's not. That's the battery just about gone there. There we go. And again, if you bring it into land just normally, so just literally throttle off, and you bring it down into your hand or anywhere where it sort of reached a level and sat down, it will kill the motors after a couple of seconds of just holding it down. Okay, so just recharged the battery, and it does take an hour to recharge, and just thought I'd come out with, I haven't quite finished with the review, to be perfectly honest, how to actually calibrate it if it starts flying a little bit erratic, or you've had a crash or something with it. Put it on somewhere level, and you can either, like I say, you can either put the quad on or the transmitter on first of all. It really doesn't matter. Hopefully you'll be able to see those LEDs flashing away there, up and down again to bind, and then the LEDs will stop flashing, and then make sure it's on somewhere nice and level. I've got this flagstone here, so nice and level, and don't move it while you do this, and this will calibrate the gyros. You pull them both down and out, hold it for a couple of seconds, get a big beep, the LEDs flash, and then they'll stop flashing and it comes back on and you're ready to take off. So I'm going to do a bit more filming this time, because I didn't really manage to get much footage there, so you can see how good that is. Oh, that was a still. I wish there was something that told you it was actually recording, but there isn't, so there we go. And the wind has sort of dropped, but it will probably come back. There we go. Already. So again, this in intermediate rates it starts in. I wonder if that, so just hold it, nothing happens to the yaw if I just hold it fully over in one direction. But if you go up into high rates, and you can use the yaw no problem at all, and nice and gentle, it does have that sort of feel. I think I had it on one of my other Eachines as well. It just sort of, it's very precise and sort of robotic, the way it sort of clicks round sort of thing. But when it's in high rates, if you hold the yaw right the way round, it suddenly has a hissy fit like that. Whoops! Oops! There we go. You just show how durable it is as well. You can see that wind's really going to catch it now. If it stands still, it's probably going to gust it. Well, it's doing okay actually. He's a nice little flyer. And pretty, I mean, I can't really see that it would do you any harm if it sort of caught you, to be honest. I mean, in the face it's not going to be very good, obviously, and I'm not recommending that you do hit it or anything, but as you saw, as soon as it hit the little hoop over there, it wasn't a problem at all. I'm trying to get it to hit me and I'm not doing very well. There we go. It's really not going to do any harm. I mean, that sort of just shows how durable it is. Look, and all it's done is just carry on flying. Oh, nice. Well, sorry, I forgot we're supposed to be videoing, aren't we? So let's drop it down into low rates, and then it should be nice for video then. Nice and smooth. Look at this. Actually, not a bad job. I mean, the video, I don't think the quality is going to be particularly good. And of course, as soon as you pitch forward, you start looking at the ground with these, which is a real shame, because the camera literally is pointed level, which looks nice on the quad, but it's not good for filming if you're actually going over anything. So I'll stop the video there, and we'll take a still. Just before it goes over the top of the garage. There's another still. And we put the video back on. See what happens if I just kill the transmitter. So just stop the video again. And now I've just killed the transmitter. Well, I'm hoping it'll die. Yep. So back on with the transmitter, up and down. So you'd have to rebind to it to catch hold of it again. It won't automatically rebind, which is very normal. And off again. So again, that one now I've gone back into intermediate rates. I'm going to pop it up into high rates. I'm going to pop that video on again. I don't know whether it will reach that, but having done that test, I know then if I run out of range, I know exactly what will happen to it. That is just about 80 meters there. Nice. Like I say, it's not like one of the other Eachines. It sort of went really sort of squirrely on the yaw very quickly. This one really doesn't. On yaw in high rates, absolutely fine. Whoa! And the only time it goes squirrely is if you hold it there. There we go. Now you can sort of make it go, but that's really holding it. There we go. Now it'll go absolutely silly. That is the tightest funnel I think I've ever seen. There we go, flashing LEDs. But if you're just flying normally and you don't keep it hard over, it's absolutely fine. Hey, it's a really nice little fly. Yeah, it's coped really well actually. Really nice. And the speed of it is pretty good for what it is. Oi, there we go. I think the battery's gone. Yeah, there we go. Nice actual gentle landing even with the battery going. Cool. There we go. So hopefully I've covered everything now. Hey, let's do that night flight.
Okay, so what do we think of it? Pretty impressed actually. This is coming in under £20, so I think that's pretty good. The transmitter worked really well. I got up to 80 metres, and so therefore it probably could do a bit more, so I'm quite happy to eat my words thinking it wouldn't do 100 metres. I really couldn't see it though. It was just it's just I know my garden and where it was going so well. I could see the LEDs when it moved, and they are absolutely awesome. They're just really nice and bright, so impressed with those, but you do have to tilt it slightly to see them, but you can see them. They're good. The props, as you saw, are really safe. It's a nice, safe little quad. They've sorted out in high rates on some of the Eachines. As soon as you start to give it yaw, just past a tiny bit, it will do that mad spin. This one you had a long way to go over, and then it sort of came in, but it was totally controllable and you could pull it back. So I'm quite impressed with what they've changed there. The video footage I didn't think was too bad. I mean, again, you've got to put this in context. This is £20, you know, and you've got everything in it, and it flies really nicely. Altitude hold was pretty good. It did hold its position, which was fine. The descent is always, or can be, quite poor on them, and this is no exception, but that's just the way they are when they make them this way. I think all in all, like I say, value for money, pretty good, and if you're new to flying, this would be a great little quad to start with.